I'm still down and taking care of myself and just showing up to support the collective. You see, there's a couple things I think that are really important, and I think they're bypassed a lot. And when you think about how we are hardwired when it comes to how people have pushed us and engineered our experience, we tend to look at things from a pure physical stance first, and then we excuse certain misconceptions to being tied to impulse. And if you're searching for a miracle, or if you are trying to up-level your life, right? You're tired. You're tired of looking in the mirror and feeling distant with what you believe yourself to be. Or maybe the conversations that you were having don't seem as deep. They seem more shallow. Or maybe you feel disconnected and that nobody understands you. I'd like to present a different perspective. I wasn't in surgery for a super long time, but it was amazing to be on the other side, to sit down and to have numerous experiences and conversations beyond this body, to bring back that insight into the body, to become the wine that fills the cup, so to speak. So one of the first levels of propaganda that I think that we allow within our field, and it comes very casually. It's very silent how it shows up. For instance, when we talk about people and what they say versus their actions, actions speak louder than words. That's very presumptive. And it's a great excuse. I argue that actions don't speak any louder than words. You see, because the actions are generated through words, through thought, through mind. So the spirit and the mind correlates all the information and paints it on the canvas that is this physical form. And it gives us an excuse to not get control of our mind, right? Oh, well, I thought you should go jump off a cliff, but I didn't push you, right? You got yours. This is a very random way of allowing chaos into your life. And it seems as if we're very comfortable to allow this kind of process to happen to us and to become part of that process, where we believe that actions and words are not parallel, that you can think it, but as long as you don't do it, it's okay. So that's your first obstacle, is understanding that the power of thought and mind and word is equal to action. And of course, nobody wants you to know that, because that's a power pull, right? That's a Power Ranger, right? When you realize that all these three elements are interwoven and connected, then you start to look at life a little differently. Your accountability level goes way up, right? Because how many of you have had a thought that if it were to happen right away, it would really not work out for anybody? See how I'm saying? See what I'm kind of shining a light on? And I think that it's just a level of an excuse that we give ourselves to kind of pad our lack of participation in our conscious creation. So the next time you feel, oh, well, your actions speak louder than words, remember that the action started with a thought. So the action didn't just happen involuntarily. And the idea that we have aligned ourselves with judgment, where judgment has become a tool to protect us or to isolate experiences. So I propose, think of it like this. When you're lost, or when you want to find that store in the mall and you can't find it, and you're wandering around, what happens? You get physically exhausted, you get mentally frustrated, you're emotionally connected to the entire experience, and when you find the store, you have this feeling of elation. You feel like okay, man, that took forever. So when you are physically in that game, realize now that you're also mentally in that game. And because we have allowed seeds to be planted in our beautiful creative source garden of erroneous ideas like thoughts and like words are less than actions, we have minimized our power. We have relinquished our accountability. And we are now much more apparent, or much more aligned with fear. Apparent, I don't know why that came out. But so fear is something that happens because imagine that if everything you thought were to manifest. So then you're able to lead a parallel life that is not accountable. Because as long as it's not an action, well, it's not aligned with an outcome. And that's just not true. So when you're wanting a miracle, when you're wanting to manifest love, when you're wanting to see deep some change in your life, it's very important to start finding your location, like when you're lost in the mall. When you're lost in your mind, and all these random ideas and thoughts are just creating realities that you don't even realize are happening around you. But because you don't recognize your involvement in the action, you've relinquished your accountability. So what's happening is you're creating a chaotic kind of connection to multiple people and multiple realities, and not even realizing that you're spreading your soul out into these other sources. So when we talk about mindfulness and we talk about tapping into the miracle mindset, I think it's important to pull ourselves back to center and realize that your thoughts become reality. So just the phrase, actions speak louder than words, is a ploy to rob you of your masterhood, to rob you of your divinity, to suppress your power. You see? So even when we are seeing these actions go on around us with people at odds, right? People in a state of double standard, using science to support what they say, but that other science, well, that's not science. Only the science that supports what I say is science. You see, but what we're seeing is they're deliberately creating realities through mind first. And I believe what's happening is we're becoming reactionary because we're very visceral, we're very empathic, that term. So as an empath, all it really means is that we're visceral and we're vulnerable, and we immediately take on an energy source and can have a tendency to overreact and either engage or disengage unknowingly. And we lose a lot of our power because we feel that if we pull away, and we distance ourselves, that we're still not aligned to that environment. And I feel that that is a false reality. I feel that distancing yourself from something doesn't mean that you're still not connected to it. If it's still part of your inner conversation and your thought process, just because it's not showing up in your physical world and your action, does not mean it is not taking a toll on your body and your physical creation. So it's important to become a master of the mind. And by doing so, you take accountability. So you have a thought like, oh my God, I wish you'd go jump off of a bridge. And then you're like, karma's a bitch, you're going to get yours. That's fear. It's fear disguised as other things. It's fear disguised as disgust. It's fear disguised as a lack of love. It's fear disguised. And you're creating a field of fear even when you feel that you're standing up fearlessly. So the idea is to be able to learn to manifest in a full nature, to connect all the elements and tap into all the assets, mind, body, soul. Allow Source to really open up that window of opportunity for you, to open up that gate of healing, to open up that door of more experiences. And this is where trust and faith really will find you as well. Because having faith means that you're recognizing yourself as an infinite resource. Right? If you're afraid of the vax, if you're afraid of this movement, and you're facing it because you're afraid of the what's happening, I have news. You're still confused because you don't have to face things that way. I'm not saying that you don't stand your ground and you don't stand up for yourself. But even like when Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, it was for everything. It wasn't just for hammering him up on the cross. It was for everything. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. When you are designed and you tap into the design of divine mind, body, and soul, it sets you apart to a different level of expression and perception. And if you're falling prey to the same low-level interactions and standards of what you're being apparently attacked by, maybe you're not as convinced of your infinite being as you trying to sell to yourself. So I think it's really important to ground yourself, to really get to know how you perceive yourself, really go through your mind's work and see what you're tapping into. Really understand your infinite self. Because when you approach this whole conversation as an infinite being, this is just literally like watching a TV show. And you begin to find it humorous. And you see, have you ever been in a situation and somebody gets so frustrated because you're not bothered by it and you're just kind of laughing? It tears them up inside. And not that you're doing it to do those things. But when somebody has true power or true bliss, or they're tapped into their infinite source, there's nothing that anyone else can do to remove that. Not even taking your body can remove that. You see how that power works? You see how that level of interpretation of your experience changes? When you realize that even if your physical form ceases, you're still here. You're still kicking. You're still going forward. If I ceased to be tomorrow or the next day, it's only this shell. It's only this sweet candy coated shell, right? This little Reese's piece right here. It might be yummy right now, but you know what? The next one is just as yummy. I might come back as a starburst or a Skittle. Who knows? I'm not a star seed. I'm a starburst. I'm a burst of sunshine, a burst of star, and I know exactly who I am and where I'm at. And the idea is to tap into that and to overcome what is not even there. What you're fighting doesn't exist. So don't get so frustrated. You see? So everybody have a beautiful, wonderful afternoon. I'm here just nursing myself, really allowing this physical body to make its decisions. And the other part of this is when you try to trap a miracle, when you try to pray for a miracle, like if you were trying to pray to heal your body so you could stay here a little longer, I feel that what you're doing is you're creating miracles from a place of fear. And that actually will have the opposite outcome. Think about it. Dwell on that. Leave some comments down below on that one, because the miracle isn't that the body continues. The miracle is that you know it never dies. You see, so I'm taking the magic brush, I'm creating a canvas. I don't stop creating. I continue. And when I tap into that as my ultimate resource, I'm really on a different level. I'm really on a different playing field. And it feels very, very, very empowering and liberating to understand that I'm not an adherent to the fear of death. And I'm excited about life. I'm excited. I don't need to go anywhere. I'm perfectly fine. I love being here. But at the same time, I'm not just here. I'm everywhere. When you start to see yourself in everything, you're everywhere. I'm the hummingbird that's outside my window right now. I'm the butterfly that's landing on that bush. I am the Care Bear that's on my little place right here. I am an elemental, an infinite being. I'm broadcasting in every timeline right now. I'm sending light information and codes across all multiple lines of communication. Because it's different, right? It's different. I really like to feel that one of the things we're missing in the spiritual community is a deep level of self-engagement, a vulnerability to be here, to go beyond being aligned with income or outcome, right? Why are we so bound to outcome? The miracle is already here. Praise the miracle. You don't have to fear death at all, right? If you're afraid of death and you're praying for a miracle to save your life, do you think that's going to really work out? Fear doesn't create anything but chaos. Overcome the fear by following through in the mind. Reduce the noise. Turn it down. Reduce the noise. Be careful of what you're broadcasting. Actions do not speak louder than words. Stop believing everything that you're told. Just because it's repeated for years or thousands of times doesn't make it true. Think outside of the box. Let little pieces of information blow up inside of your mind. Be a pioneer. Push the limit. Peace, light, and love, and have a beautiful, wonderful, profitable day. Because you live and breathe in a spirit of abundance, whether you believe it or not. And abundance can show up as separation, anxiety, or fear. Abundance doesn't dictate its design. Did you know that being poor is still a piece of infinite abundance? Because it's an unbiased gift that comes to you because of where you really are. So giving that it will give you the experience that you believe you don't deserve, or the experience that you believe that you deserve. Get a wrap around your mind. Wipe out everything that doesn't really correlate with what you believe you to be. Take a hard look at yourself. Really take a deep look at yourself. Then give yourself a hug Let everything go. And then ask yourself, love. There's a difference between love and unbiased love. Unbiased love doesn't get in there and force you to succeed. Love will support you to be successful. But unbiased love, unconditional love, will love you and allow you to fail if that's what you truly want to follow. So the next time you're angry and you're upset because you gotta walk around like this, or you gotta take a tequila shot for the Corona beer, remember, maybe you're just creating from the mind. But because actions speak louder than words, you've been conditioned to dial down your divinity. Peace, light, and love. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Beautiful creations. The miracle has already happened. Life is a miracle. Enjoy it.